Welcome back. Welcome to our third segment, the trade of the week, and that's for September 14th, 2024. So, as always, I like to start with our gap plays. How nicely we filled our previous week's gaps. We can see that on Wednesday we filled this gap from 9.9, and then what we have on Friday, we had this small gap. Are we gonna go to fill this little gap here? Also, for the looking at the 30 minutes, what we see here, we filled this gap, and our and we fill this gap on a 30 minutes. So the question is, can we fill this gap? I'm still going all the way, this area, this gap from July, and then we hit the all-time high. Is it possible to go and fill this and maybe get rejected or break out? So we shall see. We did have our CPI, and let me actually start with this. We did have on the 5 minutes. This is my CPI zone, our CPI bracket trade. Look, we broke out. We would have been stopped out if we took that trade. But then if we took this trade, would have been a really nice trade. That was a crazy day on Wednesday. And guess where we went? We went to our nice support zone. But then we come back on Wednesday. Once we broke out of this bracket again, we are above our moving averages. If you would have taken this, that would have been a nice trade as well. Just again, same as far as our CPI numbers. Now, again, we can see how nicely, if you would have taken that, how nicely that just continued, and we stayed above our 50-day or 50 bar moving average on 30 minutes. How nicely that just continued. I hope you're doing your gold trades. These are from Thursdays, and what you can see Thursday and Friday, if you would have done your gold trade, it would have been a very rewarding trade if you would have done it on Thursday. And you see the strength of the gold way above its all the clouds, and the DMIs are all positive. So let's do ETF of the week. Last week, silver miners were up very nicely, 15.8%. On the other hand, the bank, we talked about XLF doing nothing. So the bank FTXO was the bank, First Trust Nasdaq Bank ETF, was down 1.3%. We also had the semiconductors done well. They were up 9.7%. Consumer staples were down 0.7%. So they're not a lot of big losers. So let's spend some time on stock of the week. I just want to share this with you. These are some of my holdings in my investment portfolio, not a trading portfolio. And the reason I want to share that with you, a while back, we bought 500 shares of Plantier. Average price was at $12.05. So on Friday, we hit 35.71%. I have not sold a lot of these holdings you see, like let's say RCMT. I have taken money off the table. We are up 1,000% on that. Like UGA, I bought this in 2020 and gradually been just unloading, and I've only got 4 shares. So it's only valued, I got $48 of profit, but I just enjoy looking at it. It's up 500%. Our semiconductors are up 300%, and I still hold energy, and also have Geckos, which is the glaucoma, actually. Goldman Sachs. But anyway, so I had Plantier, so I thought, well, that was a nice move when Plantier had a nice run. So what is next? So right now we've had from very short term. I look at these are my 3, 8, and 21 exponential moving averages. You see we've held nicely. Once we broke above the 21, it is hugging that 3 days. So I'm looking at very short term. So if you want to take some profits, you're looking at more short term, this is how you will do it. So looking at, again, we are getting embedded, not yet. So we'll see. Generally, what happens when the announcement comes, the markets, they actually favor the stocks that they have been included in S&P 500, because obviously now all the indices, all the funds, the ETF, they have to buy the stock because it's part of the basket. One warning is eventually what will happen, now it will really be dependent on the index itself after a while. So right now we can ride it, but be aware that the party will be more dependent on actual the index than itself individually, although it has a lot of interest in it. But look at this big, huge move since Friday's announcement, way outside expected move. Also, we can see, again, my multi-frame, you see in August, we got rejected, we broke below the cloud and we came right back. So at $25, you had an indication that, look, there is something going on and there's a strength. We are above the turning line, standard line, not DMI is closing above. So the markets were giving you some guidance based on that. So, and there we are, we see the weekly, we've broken the monthly, we are going back to that, going back all the way to 2021. So just a food for thought. So there's a strength, but as I said, we'll start from short term and go back to the long term. If I'm more of a short term oriented. Also, we see how nicely after the momentum had died, we never really, even the A waves, they stayed positive. So we hit that -2 standard deviation and we came back nicely. Even in Hakinashi, we are back. We want to watch our MACD. So the slope is positive, and that's positive. We're getting close. We are right around the midnight, getting close to that 1 standard deviation. So those could be your targets. You could use actually Fibonacci. I didn't use that, but that's something else you could do. Next is NVIDIA. Again, a big reversal, of course, and big movement. We see how, there's so much demand for their products, so they basically way outside their expected move. They had, obviously, if you recall, not, but we see that 60 minutes, 30 minutes, they all went positive. Here's the caution now. So where we are right now, the 10 minutes is flattened, the 30 minutes is flattened, but above the cloud. So we still have positive, but we see the negative and positive, they are kissing each other. So they're coming together. The negative is above on the 10 minutes. On a 60 minutes, we're still positive above the cloud, but we are hugging that turning line. So, and we just broke above. So we need, if you're conservative, maybe one more confirmation. But this could provide a nice support. So, and on a weekly, again, the turning and standard line are coming together. So there's a lot of tug of war. So be a little cautious as far as if you want to put a new buy in there at this time. So more of a hold at this time. Apple, unlike Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Amazon, Google, it was right in the middle of its expected move. And we see Apple, how nicely it went and touched its cloud and bounced back. We are inside the cloud. And so there's a little hold in here. And again, I think the market is watching also the Fed. We also were expecting, the last Monday, what happened with the new launch of the iPhone 16, the AI side. So there's still confusion there. All right, as far as the squeeze scan of the week, we do S&P 500, just quiet few candidates. So I hope you investigate that. Last week, we had 31 stocks that moved up after the earnings, 20 were down. And forward guidance, we had 4 positive, but 9 negative. One of the stocks really suffered, actually, um, although it beat expectations nicely, it actually was down. And then Oracle, on the other hand, had a great day. So Oracle did well. GameStop beat expectations. Kroger missed. And Restoration Hardware had a nice day as well. So that beat expectations. So this week, again, you can see it's like really, it's all about FOMC now. But you do have like companies like FedEx coming up. So pay attention to that. This is our volatility. But we have the FedEx is the big one, but also we have Darden Restaurants, General Mills, and FactSet. So just a few ideas if you're looking for some suggestions. I hope it was helpful. I wish you a wonderful weekend and a great week ahead till we meet again. Thank you so much.